Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It's Monday night, it's 7:30. My name's Phil. If you're watching this live, get your views in, get your comments in. This is your show. We get as many comments on screen as we can. We'll chat about what it is. I'm going to be joined by Tom very, very shortly, so he'll be reacting to your comments as well. Get your views in. Leicester, we lost at home to Man City. A lot of us thinking, actually, that defeat was, well, things could have been worse, but I've been reflecting on it a little bit myself, and I'm starting to get a bit down in the dumps, so I need you guys to cheer me up. I'm looking, and we're in that bottom three, and there's 2 more games until the Qatar World Cup. I am feeling a little bit, as I say, down in the dumps. I was feeling quite upbeat after losing on Saturday, but today I am feeling it a little bit. So we want your views, your comments in today's Fanzone show.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to Monday night's Fanzone show. We're live until 8 o'clock. If you're watching it live, get your comments in, just like Matty Bond has. Good evening to you, Matty. How are you? Hope you're well. Damien, yeah, it is Damien. Rowe, hope you're well. The belief is back, says RF. Do you know what? I'm waning a little bit, RF. I will need you to cheer me up and tell me that I'm wrong. Paul says, good evening all. Damien says we should have had a point. Should have, could have, maybe. We didn't. We lost 1-0. We're in the bottom 3. Cheer me up. Come on. Cheer me up. LCFC Gray says, good evening. We were brilliant on Saturday and deserve something from the game. Only beaten by a dubious free kick. I think it means with the FK there. Could be anything there, LCFC Gray. Most happy I've been with a loss, says Paul. Yes, after the game, that's how I felt, Paul. I was weirdly like, well, that was okay, but I guess there's been more games, obviously, with the first game pretty much the weekend. Everybody else has played. We're back in the bottom 3, Paul. I am feeling a bit glum, and I want to talk to you guys about it. 2 games left until the World Cup. We're going to be in the bottom 3 by the time it gets to the World Cup, and we're all going to be saying, as people are saying, the belief has gone. Richie, hope you're well. Carlos says we lost, but for the first time, I feel so happy after watching the team play so well on Saturday. Shame we lost, but lots of positives. You sound a bit like a manager there, Carlos. If I'm honest, fair enough. We still lost. I know it's been better recently, but Wayne says we need 2 good results, but at least Forest got hammered. They did. Forest did get hammered, Wayne, but listen, you might be wanting to take the mickey out of Forest. They are just behind us in the table. 2 points, we're not in a great place. Patrick says, as Jamie put his clocks back, if you didn't see it yesterday, I'm going to play the video clip, and I'm going to thank you, Patrick, for reminding me. I'm going to hang Jamie, who runs the Foxes Aftermath show, every Sunday. Now, he starts it religiously at 9:30 or somewhere, and then at winter, he makes a big song and dance, and he's going to start it at 10 a.m. because 10 a.m. gives him time to get a cup of tea and his bacon butter, and you can all gather around and watch him. He wouldn't have got the clocks on yesterday, would he? Not Jamie. Watch this bit, honestly. It had me in stitches.
Leicester Fan TV, I'm not sure who that is. That could be Phil, that could be Tom, that could be Jamie, but please share and like this video to get everyone on, because I'm half hour later than normal. Some people might still think it's early, but it's not. Morning, Nigel. How are you, mate? How's it going? It's not 9 a.m. It's...
That moment, your face.
Have I started early?
Look at him. The penny's dropped. There it is, look.
I started early, haven't I? I started really early.
He's thinking, what a muppet. Live.
I've got all my times wrong, haven't I? Even I've got my times wrong. I've looked at the clock wrong. I have.
What a banana.
Yeah.
Look at him checking the phone.
Blimey, O'Reilly. I've started really early, haven't I? Oh, God.
The penny's dropped.
Oh, dear.
He's got it wrong. What a
I've
muppet.
got asked about face here, haven't I? I really have. Anyway, we'll go with it now. Oh no, what a plonker.
We're all watching, mate. We're all watching you do it live.
Put the clocks back, haven't I? Oh no. I've made a huge mistake, haven't I?
Yes, you plonker, Rodney.
Timing wrong.
That was Jamie, the plonker, yesterday, live in front of everybody, proving that he's got the clocks wrong. And I want to know from you guys, when did you get the clocks wrong ever on a Sunday morning when they put them back? I know I have done. I know when I was playing for my Sunday morning team, this is 25 years ago, we all turned up to a match and we were an hour early for the match. We were all there going, where is it? Where's the game? You know what it's like when you're playing Sunday morning pub football? Everybody's hanging with the worst hangovers you've ever had. And we were all dragged ourselves there and we were an hour early. So if you've ever made that mistake, especially football related, let us know. Let's get them there. Andy says, we showed them too much respect on Saturday. Keith says, best loss of the season, getting better every game. I know, Keith, I'm a bit with you. Oh, didn't we lose well? Didn't we lose well on Saturday? No, we just lost. We lost. Richie says, can you give a birthday shout out, please, for tomorrow? It's my sister's partner's Luke's Clueless birthday, please, Phil. I think we've just done that there for you, Richie. Carlos says he titsed up. That's Jamie. Titsed up and started at 9 o'clock. Yes, it was brilliant. I still laugh at it now when I watch it, Wayne, and I have watched it lots of times back. Carlos says, got to work once when I was 17 on a Sunday morning and forgot the clocks had gone back. Worst mistake ever. We've all done it, but have you done it live on a stream like Jamie? Probably not. Andy says, we played better when we went to up front. Let's start with that one. Let's bring Tom in on that very, very topic. We're going to play this all around backwards, Tom. We're going to react to as many comments on the screen as we can. And so try to keep it short and sweet. Andy says we played better when we went two up front.
Did play better when we went two up front. Probably should have changed on the 60-minute mark and given himself an extra 10 minutes. As I said in my review video, I think 10 more minutes, we probably get an equaliser. But for the game plan, it worked for me.
Yeah, Adam says here, all seasons fans have been saying it's not that we lost, it's the way that we lost. Again, Tom, after the match on Saturday, I, like you, like many people, I was like, well, didn't we do well? Didn't we do well when we lost 1-0? But I'm looking more at the table after that weekend of results, and I'm like, it's been better, but we're still bottom three. What's your take on it? Didn't we do well in the lose?
I'm not too bold about the table now because of how close it is, and one win and suddenly you're up to like 15th, 14th place. Go back a few games ago when we only had 1 point and 4 points, I was concerned. But now, because it's so close, one win and you're fly up the table. The results of the weekend, what can you say? Who would have had Leeds going to beat Liverpool? You wouldn't have had it. It didn't, and no one even crossed the mind that Leeds would have gone and won at Anfield at the weekend. So look, one win and the season changes back around again. So at the moment, I'm not too carried away. It's too tight to worry about things like that now. And I don't get too much from the loss of the weekend. I'm very positive about the loss of the weekend. Was a weird thing to be saying.
Ashley says here, played well Saturday after the game. Didn't understand some comments on socials. Think people forget probably playing best team in the world at the moment. And Cags was decent as well, positive for me. I thought Cags did all right. Tom, I want to ask you, I don't know if you listened to Brendan Rodgers being chatted to by Owen on BBC Radio Leicester straight after the game. I thought Owen set him up a chance to be positive about Cags because Owen asked him about him. And then Brendan I thought was a bit poo-pooey of Cags after. And I just thought, just for Jesus' sake, just big up Cags and say, yeah, the lad's done well. He's, getting his match sharpness back. But he sort of, I don't know. If you heard it, Tom, I was like, oh, just big Cags up,
Yeah, I've heard some of it. I generally think we all know what's happening with Cags. He will go at the end of the season. I don't think there's not going to be a contract offer to him. So, as far as Brendan is, he's brought him in out of the cold for a game. Were we all surprised? Of course we were. We never expect to see Cags in the lineup at the weekend. But then when the lineup was read out, it made sense because this is, if you go back 2-3 seasons when we won at the Etihad 5-2, and that back line was Justin, Cags, Evans, Amati, and Cassagna. you can also understand why he'd gone back to this 5 at the back. He's played quite a few games against Man City over the last few years. So Cags have played in it. He knows the role. And I thought he had a blinding game, if I'm honest. For someone who'd only played not more than 90 minutes at Stockport County in the whole of the season, to come in and play like he did, fair play to him. Fair play to him a lot. And Brennan, yeah, he should have given him a bit more praise than what he did, if I'm honest with you.
Harry says here, I think Danny Ward is showing that he's a good goalie. Now, the last 5 games, he's been great. Andy goes on to say Ward is growing in confidence every game. I know I've been critical of Danny Ward, and I'll stick by myself and say I still feel we should have got a keeper in the summer. I want Ward to do well. I think he dealt with everything that was thrown at him on Saturday well, Tom, and maybe he is growing in confidence.
Oh, he's definitely growing in confidence. Yeah, I mean, you look at the first few games, couple of mistakes, you could tell it was low. The Arsenal game when he came out and miscatched it and it dropped straight to the striker and went in the net. A few of the games you would just question what he was doing. And then we've turned a corner, not just Danny Ward, but the defence. And for me, turning point is this new set piece coach. I really believe he's starting to have an impact on the way we defend as a team, the way we defend corners, the way we defend free kicks. We looked so much better. And part of that is Danny Ward now with growing with confidence that he's coming off his line and catching balls. So we haven't seen probably in the last 18 months of Casper's reign at the club. He didn't come out and catch balls. He came out and maybe punch 1 or 2, but he's very reluctant. Danny Ward now is starting to get that little bit of confidence. And I selected Danny Ward. I was very concerned what we were doing, but you have to give credit due where players have come from low on confidence, being backed by a manager to then turn it around. And Danny Ward is starting to turn it around now at Leicester. And I'll say Saturday, for me, he was coming out, he was collecting everything. Look, he got done by a world-class free kick, simple as that. You can't moan at that. And the team didn't concede from open play or a corner kick.
I thought you said you think it's the set piece playing coach who's come in, Tom. I'm going to it could well be that, but I also think it's Pies. I've said that right. I think he looks like is it him coming in? Is it Johnny Evans not being in? It just feels like certainly since FaZe has come in, he looks like, again, he could be a very, very decent centre-back.
Well, Faz bar is one slip at Bournemouth away where he cost us a goal. Let's not deny that. He's made one mistake for a goal. He's been a leader in the back line. Johnny Evans has been out. He's played with Daniel Amati. The first game against Palace, we were very nervous about Daniel Amati and he made a couple of mistakes. But the last 3 games, I think Daniel Amati and Faz have formed a very solid partnership. And then at the weekend, chucking Cags in there. And again, you're thinking probably, Faz is going, well, what might I expect from this partnership? Because I've played with Daniel now for a few games and we're starting to get a partnership. I've now got to look after someone playing on the left-hand side of me who hasn't played, any games this season. How's he going to be, up against the best team in the world, the Premier League champions at the moment? And he just led them. You can see him talking to players all the time. He's chatting. He isn't scared to tell a player what to do as well. What's good. At the age of 25, he's still got a long way to develop in his career, but you see inside of a leader on the pitch, and it's what we've missed. I really believe. I think Johnny Evans is great, and he is a leader, but I think Faz is taking it to the next level of being a leader on the football pitch.
Yeah, indeed. Keep getting your comments in. There's loads to talk about. Paul says here, Ward has a better defence in front of him. Faz has been instrumental in there. Reedy says here, when does it get to the point where things are turning? We say they're playing poor sides, which is true, but even we thought we would lose to them teams after losing 7 in a row. Can't only lose 1-0 to Man City, he says. Think it's a meh performance. I think, Tom, what I'm sort of going to hold back fully tonight on what I think until we've played Everton and West Ham, because for me, I feel that the World Cup this year, this is going to be a year like no other with the World Cup now. I feel like if we go to the World Cup and we're in the bottom 3, I'm still very much, it's time for Rodgers to go. What's your take on it?
I completely agree with you. We're in the bottom 3 going into the World Cup. There'll be a lot of question mark about what's going on.
Yeah.
Like Reedy asked, where's the turning point? For me, the turning point, if you go and win 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row and the performance levels are up there And that's not just against the poor sides. You know, that's picking up points over Christmas against Newcastle. That's picking points up against Liverpool. I think we've got Fulham. You know, teams are up there. Look at Fulham. They're flying this season. They're 5th or 6th in the league. They are really flying. They're going to be a test. So for me, you've got to win the next 2 games. And then he has got to pick up points up at home to Newcastle, away to Manchester. I think we got away to Liverpool as well around the Christmas period. You've got to keep winning games, Brendan, to really turn the fans. I think you saw the fan appreciation at the game at the weekend. Because for me,
Yes.
I haven't seen in a long time that the full-time whistle, the reception the players got, the cheer, the clapping.
Yeah.
You haven't seen that down the King Power for a long time. And that just shows you how much...
They were singing. Everybody's singing Leicester, Leicester and all that at the end.
How much they appreciate the effort the lads have put in. And I think if any team plays with that amount of passion and aggression and commitment and consistency of like concentration levels to defend like we did for so long and not concede from open play against the champions, you'll be all right. It's the sloppy performance where we get half an hour game here, half an hour there, poor performances constantly. That's when he's still not going to turn the corner for me. So long way to go to turn the corner. It's a start, but got to keep winning football matches now.
Jason says, I think the owners are going to hold on to Rodgers and give him some funds in January, which Rodgers himself has alluded to that, Tom. He has said that they're going to look to go and get a player in January. So he is stating what Jason has said, Tom.
I believe we want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, and this is...
I don't get carried away with it, mate, because of what happened last year. I'd love us to go and sign a couple of players. I still think we're very, very short. We need a winger and we need another centre half, in my opinion. But until I see those players come in the door, I didn't mean to get carried away for 4 or 5 wins. I agree. If we can get 2, 3 wins in a row or 2 wins and a draw, then by all means, that is progress. And it's all about progress now for Rob Brendan, in my view. Yes, 7, 8 wins is a couple of years ago. I'm just saying he had a consistency. He's got to get the consistency there, not go and win it 4-0 at Wolves and then, you know, lose to Everton 3 or 4-0 because that was a pointless exercise. You know, he's got to get these wins consistent. So he's beat Wolves. He's now got to beat Everton, who are close to us in the league. You then got to beat West Ham, who are close to us in the league. So it's all about consistency of games. And for me, these are the games now, Everton and West Ham. 4 points would be a very good return in my view.
Well, that's right. Everton are on 14 points, Tom. We're on 11. So if we were to pick up 3 points again, then all barring goal difference, we'd go pretty close to above them. West Ham, the week after, again, at the moment, are on 14 points. So they are 2 very winnable games. But it makes such a difference. If you were to win both, Tom, and we can get 6 points, you could look as far up the table as almost above halfway.
Exactly. And if teams, you know, it's got to go on other teams, I think. But if we went into that period after the start we had to this season with 17 points on the board, you can't really moan about it. You can moan because we want better. But to turn it around the way he has, you'd be more than happy then think, well, okay, he's got 2 more wins. Let's see what it's like after the international break and the players have been away and they've not been together for a few weeks. And what is he going to be able to do, gelling that team back together and then get the consistency? Because obviously the boys aren't going to be around. There's a lot of players going to this World Cup. What is he going to be able to do with the rest of the squad? You can't really practice anything because you're not going to have Tillemans. You're not going to have Faz possibly. You're not going to have Cassagna. You're not going to have Pratt. You know, all these players are going to clear off. It's just, to me, the World Cup area is about keeping those players fit as you can. Work on some basic corner routines and stuff like that if you can. Hopefully Maddison sticks around because I don't see him going to the World Cup. So it's time for him to rest up and ready to come back all, you know, games firing for those games given up.
Tom, Patrick says it. He says, Kin and Dewsbury Hall needs a rest. Swap him for Pratt on Saturday away at Everton. We all love KDH. He was took off. It was half time. He came off, wasn't it, on Saturday? I believe, if I'm remembering right. What's your take on him? We overhyped him. You know, what's your take on where he is at the moment?
I think correct decision on Saturday to take him off. He was giving the ball away too much. Yes, Matt Pipes goes spot on. He's got the work rate and commitment, but when you give him the ball away so much like he was on Saturday against good opposition, it's only before time that you're going to get caught out and concede. So I thought it was correct to bring on Mendy, someone who's a bit more composed on the ball, quite happy to receive the ball in the tighter areas and hopefully try and get things going forward. very unlucky with Grealish's free kick, if we're honest about it. It went down so easily. But that's one of the things with Jack Grealish. You know he's going to take that touch. You know he's looking for that tiny little touch, any opportunity to go down around the box, because he knows we've got players who are dangerous. He does. So, look, I thought it was a correct decision. I think it's a correct decision this weekend to give him a rest. He's played a lot of football matches recently, and he's still only young. He's 22. He's got a long, long way to go in his Leicester career, and he will get better. He will get better. But sometimes you have to take players out of the limelight and bring other players in. Just say, take it out, refocus, regroup as a player, practice on the things we need you to work on, as Brent Rodgers said, and actually goals and assists. He's getting the goals and assists at the moment. He has this season, a lot more assists than we thought. But yeah, take him out of the weekend, bring Dennis Pratt in. I think Everton away is a massive game, and it's all about, you know, how we're going to press them. I think Dennis Pratt proved at Wolves he set one of the goals up because he pressed the ball. So I would definitely bring Pratt in at the weekend for that energy on the pitch.
Will says their next 2 games are a must-win. We need the points before the long World Cup break. I tend to agree with him. I think Tom, I'd be happy with 4 points, more than happy with 4 points out of those 2 games. 6 would be delightful, 3 would be okay, but 1 or 2, I just think keeps us in a mess.
Oh, 4 points minimum. I've already said that. 4 points minimum. Don't care which way it comes, how it comes. 4 points minimum we should be getting from the next 2 games to give yourself going into the World Cup a bit of a lift. If you only get a point, then you're sunny light and 2 teams win above you. You've then got that gap again between us and the teams above when we're in the bottom 3. So yeah, 4 points, and it just gives us a little bit of boost going into the World Cup break.
Tom, obviously you sit in the cop end and I sit in the family stand end. So Vardy or Daka debate at the moment. We don't really play to either strengths, and I think both of those players benefit from having Kelechi Iheanacho on with them. But what's your take on Vardy at the moment? Because we're starting to we're 12 games into the season. We've said it for a year or 2. At some point, there's going to be this transition where you probably think Daka is more the starting one. What's your take on it?
We all know that Rodgers doesn't play a formation that allows 2 strikers for some reason. I thought of the weekend Man City, when he brought them both on, it was a bit of genius to finally do it and give Man City something to think about. And I generally felt that the weekend when he brought them both on at the same time, it caused chaos. Man City did not know how to handle them. That, you know, if you look at it, Nacho was dropping into the hole, turning, looking for, you know, Daka in behind. There was times when they did the roles reversed. Look, Vards, brilliant player. At the moment, him and Daka look like they're swapping over each game. One will start, one will play on the bench. The next game, the other one starts, the other one comes off the bench. I think that's the way he'll play. For some reason, Nacho can't get a sniff bar when it's like, well, backs to the wall, we better bring on another striker. What's a shame, really, because I think there's a good player in Nacho. Again, he's a confidence player and he needs a run of games. We saw when he got a run of games a few years ago with Vardy in the FA Cup season, a run of games, and he was scoring goals for fun. But he does not seem to feature in Brendan Rodgers' plan. At the moment, I think you have to pick Daka on form and you bring Vardy on with 20 minutes ago when people start to look tired. I think there's only one game this season when Vardy started away at Chelsea, and he probably should have scored a hat-trick in that game. He had enough chances, went round the keeper a couple of times. Reedy was there, so he'd probably be able to tell me more than that. But yeah, I generally think Daka's the main striker at the moment because of how many goals he scored this season.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think if you look at them, I think Vardy's a better gets the crowd going as a sub, and you start to think, oh, he could come on and score the winner. And so I'm starting to think Daka maybe should start, but I think neither of them would play to their strengths, and that's why I find Iheanacho just can't really get himself established in the team. But I do feel like he helps both of them in that Okazaki style role. Jono says Daka and Nacho off the left should be more of an option. I think a lot of fans would pick Kelechi and Nacho, Tom.
Oh, massively. I think the problem you got as well, teams know how to defend against Daka and Vardy, and that's sit deep. Don't give any space. They all know that's what Daka wants. They want that running behind. Not just Vardy, Daka as well. It's all about pace for them boys. You put it in behind, and know Daka will get onto that ball. Vardy will get onto that ball. Probably not as much as he used to because he has lost a yard or 2 of pace, Vardy, but that's the way they play. So teams now automatically lose that space. They won't defend high. teams who try and defend high, we've seen it. Everton did last year when they missed the ball and Daka ran through and scored. They know if they defend too high, then we can punish them. And the only other way we'll punish them is we saw Wolves by counter-attacking a high press, a quick 1-2 in and around the box, and then getting Daka or Vardy away. So yeah, it's all about opposition teams and how they set up. If they defend well and don't give you space, Vardy and Daka's basically threat is nullified straight away in any game. And that's why for me, playing Nacho in off the left, it gives them something else to think about, because they all know that hammer of the left foot, when he hits it, it goes hard.
Tom, we've got Everton on Saturday, then we've got Newport County next. I'm just going to check, is it Tuesday or Wednesday? It is Tuesday. And then we've got West Ham away on Saturday. Now, I think the League Cup is a great one for us to get really deep into this year, but it's tricky to be thinking about cup competitions too seriously when we are in a pickle in the league. I know we could quickly get out of it, but is he going to play a strong team? He's obviously going to play his strongest teams at Everton and West Ham, and then I'm assuming Newport is going to be almost a C team. I wouldn't even go B team against Newport, and we should still beat them. Tom, fair's fair.
Fair, definitely. I think your game against Newport, so the team picks itself in some ways. You know, if Everson will probably start in goal that game. You know, Thomas will go left back. Evans will probably come in and sign to maybe. Vestergaard will probably get a run out in that game like he did at Stockport. You know, he picked a few first teamers. Let's not forget about that. He did play Tillemans, he did play Maddison, he played Nacho and Daka and Barnes in the front line. So he did take it serious enough at Stockport. We didn't have enough to get past them, but he did take it seriously. So much
you enjoyed that game, didn't you, Tom? Stockport away. It's up there.
Yeah, and then getting stuck on the motorway for 2.5 hours and didn't get home until 2 o'clock in the morning. Well worth the trip up to Stockport on a Tuesday night. Of course it was. But yeah, look, as much we say it's a B team, I don't think it is, because we haven't got that many players to change it at the moment. So yes, I think the goalkeeper and the defence change, but I don't think your midfield and your strikers change much, because you haven't got the options to change them that much.
Right, Tom, and everybody who's watching, we've got a minute or two left. Everton on Saturday. Tom, you're doing an away fan show with, who is it, Speedo Mick?
Speedo Mick, Wednesday night. Join me at 8 o'clock. We'll be going live this time, because Speedo Mick is a legend for all the charity works he does. He walks to every game in his Speedos, doesn't matter what weather conditions. Top boy. Come and join me at 8 o'clock. We'll have plenty of chat about. Obviously, we'll talk about their team and how they've done this season. And obviously, they've brought some centre-halves, what Leicester didn't he? James Tarkowski and Connor Cody from Wolves. So be interested to see what he has to say about them two in the back line against Daka or Vardy.
Tom, I'm just wondering, if you're interviewing Speedo Mick on Wednesday live, is Speedo Mick going to be in his Speedos? And therefore, Tom, are you going to be in your Speedo or your Mankini? Which one?
Probably the Mankini we'll go with. Blue Mankini, Fox's logo down there as well. You know what I mean? Keep it real.
So we're expecting even, maybe more female viewers to see Tom in his Mankini. Go on then, Tom. Prediction time, Saturday. I want your first goal scorer, your correct final score, and I want a bit of a head says and heart says. So you know what I mean. What your head feels reality is, and what your head says and your heart. And then I want everybody else to have a go, and we'll put it on the screen.
I think my head says 2-1 Leicester. Daka to get on the score sheet, because I think he'll probably cause Tarkowski and Cody some problems. Heart says a 2-2 draw, and we come back with a point from Everton on bonfire night, and there'll be a spectacular finish, probably knowing our luck.
It's a 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. Thanks for that, Premier League. Richie says 0-0. 0-0 to Everton. Well, I think it'd be just 0-0 to both. Callum says we should win 3-0. Callum, that is so positive. We should win. Forget the fact they're higher than us in the league and we're away. We should still win that 3-0. LCFC Gray says 2-0 to City on Saturday. Andy's giving you some fashion wear. He's saying the Tom. Let us know in the comments what you want Tom to wear. Andrew, by the way, Andy, I'm worried about you now. If you want to see Tom in a thumb, that nobody apart from his missus on a Saturday night should see that. Andrew says 1-0 to Leicester. Ross is saying 2-1 to Leicester with Vardy and Maddison to score. Matty says 0-2 Leicester with Barnes to score first. Quickly, Tom. Barnes couldn't hit a barn door on Saturday. We do see two sides to Harvey Barnes. the glamour, the goals, the skills, and then we do see the frustrating no end product, don't we, from time to time?
This last season and this season, especially, for some reason, I don't know what is up with Harvey Barnes against Man City, but he just does not want to take his man on. He's scared. Last year against Kyle Walker, I was looking forward to their little like racings and stuff like that, and he just cut inside and passed it, and I'm like, take on your man. And then when I saw the lineup and John Stones were playing right back, I'm thinking, here you go, Harvey. If you wanted a day to go and have a run and field there, running up their centre halves, it was Saturday. We didn't barely run past John Stones. He didn't really test John Stones. Don't get me wrong, John Stones on his day is a very good defender, top defender. But I just want to see Barnes take it to him more. We just didn't at the weekend, and that's the frustration. That is those inconsistent performances from Barnes that, what frustrates the fans more than anything. Because we see against Forest what you can do. Seen against Leeds and coming in and drifting in at the right positions. Against Man City, when you got a defender who isn't the quickest, we just didn't test them for me, and that was a disappointment from the weekend. Was Barnes, in my view.
Keith says here we'll get a 0-0 moral victory, and I know it was Keith who mentioned it earlier. For me, Tom, yes, Saturday we played decent. We're not in that zone. For me, we're in the zone where we've got to get points. We're in the bottom three. We just got to get points. I don't care about. It's the points. That's what we need. Points make prizes, Tom.
Points make prizes. I agree on that. Goal difference gets you relegated as well. And you got to look at our goal difference. He's only -4. Look at Forest -20. Look at Leeds -13. This could be the difference, but this could be the difference between staying in Leeds.
You're looking at that and going, "Oh my God, look at the goal difference against the team
that's
bottom."
Why it could be. Yeah, but that could be the difference in staying in the league.
Tom.
No, I don't think it is. But I think realistically, if you went into that game against Manchester City, having seen how many teams have tried to go at Manchester City and got turned over, Forest lost 6-0. Man United lost 6-2 or 6-3 to them. Teams are getting torn apart by this team. We've literally conceded to lose 1-0. We've had a great chance where, bar two goalkeepers in the league say it, if in any other goalkeeper, bar the top two, do not save Yoritin's shot. I don't care how close it was to them. They do not save that shot. Danny Ward would get beaten by that shot. Any goalkeeper, bar the top two, would get beaten. That's how good that shot was and how top save that was. You get a point. Yeah. So, as much as, it's a loss, but we haven't got hammered, and that goal difference is still stuck in a nice, comfortable position.
I think you're right, Tom. I think you're right. Listen, let's hope we pick points up at Everton. Don't forget, you can see Tom in his Speedos, Speedo Mick in his Speedos, live at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. Tom, thanks a lot for joining us.
Cheers, guys. Thanks, everyone.
I don't know if I want to watch it or not now with Tom in his Speedos. I'm sort of like, I think I do, but then I think I'm going to get accused of all sorts. Anyway, looking forward to that on there. Last couple of comments in there. Reedy says, can't agree with that. I think most goalkeepers should save it straight down the middle. I know what you mean, Reedy. It was a bit straight down the middle. Ross is saying, can you take us to Liverpool? Ross, no, you can get 5:30, Ross. I know, and the trains are on strike, aren't they? I think it is going to be a tricky one. Listen, before you all go, if you fancy something different this Friday night, Leicester Riders are playing at home against Cheshire Phoenix. We'll be posting some links out to get yourself some cheap tickets. So if you fancy that, click on those links. And also, I know it's a few weeks away and it's not Leicester, but the World Cup is coming, and the Morningside Arena in Leicester has got 3,000 indoor tickets for each of the World Cup games. So that's on November the 21st, the first one, England against Iran, and then the big ones are against USA and Wales. We'll be down there. So if you fancy joining us, it's 10 quid a ticket, and that gets you a first free pint as well. Going to be Leicester's, if not England's, we believe, biggest indoor place to watch the World Cup. We're not convinced on that, but it's certainly going to be Leicester's biggest indoor place. No sitting outside. I know the King Power are doing stuff if you want to sit outside, but don't forget, it is December. So I know I'll be sitting inside and watching it down there. Anyway, listen, thanks as ever for all your views, all your comments. Join Tom in his Speedos on Wednesday with Speedo Mick, going toe-to-toe, or I could say something else. Yeah, I'm not going to say it. With Speedo Mick on Wednesday. I've picked that up more than enough. I'll see you next Monday. If we don't see you at the Everton match, there'll be a watch-along and 3 points, please, because you get no points for a glamorous defeat. Trust me, you need the 3 points. That's what we need. I'll see you all very, very soon. Cheers.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.